The Silent Path, a Buddhist story on inner growth. In a secluded monastery nestled in the Himalayas, there lived a young monk named Kavi. He had come to the monastery as a child, seeking peace and wisdom. Under the guidance of Master Tenzin, a wise and serene monk, Kavi learned the teachings of the Buddha, practiced meditation, and studied the ancient texts. However, despite his dedication, Kavi struggled with one particular habit. He could not stop talking about his thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Every day, Kavi would find someone to talk to about what he was learning, what challenges he faced, and even the insights he believed he had gained. At first, the other monks listened patiently, seeing his excitement as youthful enthusiasm. But as time went on, many of them grew weary of Kavi's constant talking. One day, Master Tenzin noticed Kavi sitting alone, looking somewhat troubled. The young monk's face was clouded with frustration, and his usual eagerness seemed tempered by a new unease. "Why are you troubled, Kavi?" Master Tenzin asked, his voice calm and gentle. Kavi sighed deeply. "Master, I don't understand. I'm doing everything I can to learn and grow, yet I feel stuck. I keep sharing my progress with others, hoping for encouragement, but now it feels like no one is listening. I feel isolated and unfulfilled." Master Tenzin regarded Kavi with understanding. "Kavi, would you like to learn a practice that may help you gain clarity and peace?" Kavi's eyes brightened. "Yes, Master. Please teach me." Master Tenzin smiled and gestured for Kavi to follow him. They walked together to a quiet spot by the monastery's meditation hall, where a large clay jar sat on the ground. "Look at this jar, Kavi," Master Tenzin said. "Each time you have a thought, an experience, or a feeling you want to share with others, I want you to come here instead. Whisper it into the jar and seal it inside. Do this for a week, and at the end, we will talk." Kavi looked at the jar, puzzled but willing to try. He spent the next week following his master's instructions. Whenever he felt the urge to share his thoughts or experiences, he would come to the jar, whisper his thoughts into it, and then close it tight. At first, it felt strange. Kavi longed for feedback and encouragement from others. But as the days passed, he began to notice something remarkable. By the end of the week, he felt calmer and less anxious. He no longer sought others' validation as much. Each time he spoke into the jar, he felt as though he was releasing a weight he hadn't known he was carrying. When the week ended, Kavi approached Master Tenzin with a mixture of excitement and curiosity. "Master, something has changed within me. I don't feel the need to share as much anymore. I feel peaceful," Kavi admitted, a faint smile on his face. Master Tenzin nodded approvingly. "You see, Kavi, each time you spoke into the jar, you gave yourself the space to process your experiences without seeking others' approval. You learned to find satisfaction within, rather than relying on others' responses." Kavi's smile grew as he understood the lesson. "But Master," he asked, "why do I always feel the need to share?" "Because, Kavi," Master Tenzin replied, "we often seek validation and support from others because we doubt ourselves. We believe that sharing will make us feel connected and valued. But true strength, true peace, lies in learning to hold our experiences within, allowing them to mature like a seed planted in the soil." Over the following months, Kavi continued this practice, only speaking about his progress when absolutely necessary. His inner peace deepened, and the monks around him noticed the quiet change. He grew less anxious, more focused, and began to understand the power of silence. One day, a visitor came to the monastery, a young man named Arun, who was filled with excitement and nervous energy. He had heard about Master Tenzin's wisdom and sought guidance, much like Kavi once had. Arun eagerly began sharing every detail of his life with Master Tenzin and the monks, seeking validation and approval. The monks listened patiently, but eventually even they grew weary of his constant talking. Observing Arun's restlessness, Master Tenzin turned to Kavi and said, "Kavi, would you share with our visitor what you have learned about the power of silence and inner reflection?" Kavi bowed and led Arun to the clay jar by the meditation hall. He explained the practice his master had taught him, encouraging Arun to try it himself. Arun looked at the jar, skeptical yet intrigued. Over time, he too experienced the calming effect of releasing his thoughts without seeking others' feedback. As Arun embraced this practice, He began to feel the peace that Kavi had discovered. He stopped seeking approval from others and learned to nurture his inner growth quietly. His need to tell others about his journey faded, replaced by a deep sense of satisfaction and strength. In time, Kavi and Aaron both realized that true growth and understanding come not from sharing every experience, but from quietly tending to their own hearts and minds. They had learned the power of silence, a lesson that would stay with them for life. This story demonstrates how keeping our personal journeys to ourselves can cultivate self-trust, inner peace, and authentic growth. Kavi's journey reflects the idea that silence allows experiences to deepen, enabling us to find value within rather than seeking validation outside.